So it is rest day. It's been a good rest day. We've been able to, get some food in our belly today, which is nice. Get a couple naps in, have our protein, everything that we've needed to do. And, I'm feeling really good and rested. Really, I almost wish I just went to the gym and worked out. But, I guess rest days are important, they say. So we're going to pretend like that's true. All right, so let's talk about the routine and why we picked the routine. And then after that, let's look at some before and after pics. I think some of you guys might be shocked looking at these before and after pics. So the first thing that we wanted to look at is how did I want to do this routine? And I wanted to do a routine where I had an arm focused day, a leg focused day, and a chest and back day. And so I decided to go ahead and tack on shoulders to legs and tack on abs to arms. That way I could get a full body workout in 3 days. So we have arm, abs, legs, shoulders, chest, back. Then we take a rest day on the 4th day where we just do cardio and that's it. Then we're going to do arms, abs, legs, shoulders, chest, back. And we're going to bump our cardio up to an hour of cardio this round instead of 30 minutes of cardio, which we've been doing for the past full year. We're going to go ahead and bump it up to an hour because I'm looking to lose some more weight and it's not coming off. And so I had to look at how can I do that? The other thing that we're doing is we're going to be adding carb cycling diet or a calorie cycling diet into the mix. So the calorie cycling diet, I'll talk about a little more. Maybe we'll talk about that the next rest day. But the biggest thing I just want to get across right now is my calories for that is going to be 1,846 calories. Now I was doing about 2,000 calorie diet, and I lost just a minuscule amount of body fat, but I didn't lose any weight. And but I did see some interesting markers that we can talk about. We can talk about the numbers here in a minute when we go through some of the before and after pics. We'll talk about the numbers. So the biggest thing is on my low calorie days, I'm going to do 1,610 calories. All right. We'll go ahead and go over it now. Why wait? And then on my low calorie days, I'm also going to do 200 grams of protein, 60 grams of fat, and 81 grams of carbs. Now, my high calorie carb days, it'll be 2,161 calories, 205 grams of protein, 60 grams of fat, and 200 grams of carbs. But when you average it out across the week, it's only 1,846 calories averaged out all the way across the week. So we're taking our calorie deficit down just a little bit, and we're going to try carb cycling and see if that helps a little bit. Sometimes just changing up how you're dieting, for me, helps me stay consistent and get back on track. So just think about that. If you run into something where, you need to focus on changing something up because you're not getting the results you need, well, there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, well, I'm gonna do keto for a little bit and see if that helps me. I'm gonna do carb cycling, see if that helps me. I'm going to just drop my calories, see if that helps, right? Whatever it is, don't be afraid to play around with your dieting habits, but don't play around with your calories, because the reduction of calories is where you're going to lose your weight. You have to have more expenditure than you have coming in. So to create that calorie deficit, you just have to adjust your calories. So was the 2,000 calories my maintenance? I mean, maybe I'm getting there to a point where the 2,000 calories was my maintenance. Um, I would think that I should be able to have more uh, calories than that. Uh, I haven't had any markers of, thyroid dysfunction or any markers of, low metabolism or anything in the past, besides just being fat. But that was because I indulged in food ridiculously. And someday I will go over what that looked like. One day I'll just do like this is how I used to eat video, and we'll just eat one full day of the way I used to eat, and everybody can be like, what the hell? I had some pretty weird eating habits looking back on it. So that's the carb cycling diet. That's the high days, the low days, what we're looking to do. And the reason I'm doing it is just because a lot of bodybuilders utilize carb cycling diets. They swear by them and they say they're really good. And the thing that I've done it for a week now, and the thing about this diet that I would say I like about it is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are my high carb, high calorie days. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are my low carb, low calorie days. And the biggest thing that I like about it that I think is going to help me stay on track is whenever I get to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I get to eat more food. And I'm a big eater. And just having 3 days of being able to feel like I've indulged a little bit more than I've been able to on the calorie restriction the previous 4 days, for me, for my mindset, is very beneficial. So, I don't know. That's the thought process there. But anyway, let's take a look. Let's talk about the workout real quick. So, um, I'm going to start off with the day after our rest day. So we're taking our rest days on Thursdays. Thursday's always going to be our rest day. So we're going to start off with Friday. And the reason we're going to do that is because I want to lift a little bit. I want not heavier, but I want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? More intense with these lifts. All right, so we're gonna be a little bit more intense with these lifts. And we've already talked about it. We're gonna drop the weight. We're gonna work on the stretch. We're gonna work on excellent form. We're gonna work on range of motion. We're gonna work on getting a good contraction. Really working on not only lifting but mind muscle connection, which I already feel like I have a really good mind muscle connection, but can it be better? Maybe, possibly. But we're going to see if we can train that a little bit. So, thinking about that, right? Friday, it's a high carb day, right? So we're going to have more carbs in us. We want to be a little bit more intense in our workout. So it's going to be an arm day, all right? And we're going to do triceps, biceps. Okay, we're going to do rope push downs to work on the lateral head of the tricep. We're going to do rope overhead extensions to work on the long head of the tricep. And we're going to do reverse grip push downs to work on the medial head of the tricep. And I may do rope push downs, reverse grip push downs, then the overhead push downs. So we may go in that order. Then we're moving into biceps. After we got our tricep pump, we're good to go. And for biceps, we're going to do our overhead cable curl. That's going to work on the short head of our bicep. Then we're going to work on then we're going to do the bison curl, working on the long head of the bicep. And we're going to do the rope hammer curl to work on the brachialis. And again, I might put the brachialis in the middle. Do the short head, the brake, then the long head. And then for our abs, we're going to do weighted cable crunches. And the reason we're doing weighted cable crunches is because we've been doing leg lifts to work on the lower biceps. And we did that for the past 3 months. So now we're going to do some weighted cable crunches and work on our upper biceps. See if we can get the upper biceps to pop a little bit. Then we'll move into Saturday, which will be another high carb day. So we want to make that a little bit more intense of a day, right? So on Saturday, we will do leg extensions. Then we're going to do leg curls. Then we're going to do leg press. And then we're going to do calf press on the leg press machine. Of course, the extension works on your quads. The curls work on your hamstrings. The leg press is good for both. And then the calf press is working on our calves. So we're going to then do our shoulders. All right, we're going to do cable front raises to work on our anterior deltoid. We're going to do cable face pulls to work on the posterior deltoid. And we're going to do cable upright rows to work on our lateral delts. Then I'm going to do a machine press finisher for that day. And then we have Sunday, which is another high carb day. We're working on chest and back Sunday. And we're going to do cable flies for our lower chest. We're going to do medial cable flies. And then we're going to do cable fly raises for our lower chest. So we're going to do flies on Sunday for each exercise. And then all of them, focusing on getting that stretch, getting a good contraction, really, really working it out. Then we're moving into back. And we're going to do wide grip lat pull down to work on our lats. We're going to do wide grip seated rows to work on the rhomboids and traps. And we're going to do bent over cable rows to work on our lats and posterior delts. And then we're going to finish it off with the Smith machine incline bench press. So we're going to rest on Thursdays. We've already talked about that. And now we'll move back into Monday. What are we doing on Monday, right? Well, Monday is a low carb day. We're working biceps, triceps, abs Monday. And we are going to do dumbbell incline curl for the long head. We're going to do dumbbell concentration curls for the short head. And we're going to do hammer curls for our brachialis. Then we're going to do work on our triceps. We'll do the dumbbell overhead extension to work on the long head. And also that overhead extension gets a really good stretch. So we want to get that stretch. Then we're going to do the dumbbell kickbacks to work on the lateral head. Now, no, dumbbell kickbacks isn't everybody's favorite exercise. A lot of folks are like, I'll just use a rope and just pull it down. It's the same movement, right? Well, it really is. But I don't want to go over to the cable machine and see if it's open and free. I already have the dumbbells that I'm working with. I just want to utilize those dumbbells and go right into the next exercise. So that's why we're going to go ahead and do dumbbell kickbacks, and just for the ease of moving into the next exercise. And then we're going to do close grip bench press to work on that medial head. And we will again go to the cable machine and do weighted crunches with the cable machine. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on there. All right, then Tuesday gonna be another low carb day. We're doing legs and shoulders on Tuesday. All right, so we're gonna do leg extensions. We're gonna do leg curls, and we're gonna do hip thrusts. Now, when we do leg curls, we're gonna do lying leg curls, just to get a different type of leg curl in. And we're going to utilize hip thrusts to work on the glute a little bit. Now, we haven't done a lot of glute work, so I think it'll be good to put some glute exercises in the mix at this point. And then we're going to do Smith machine calf raises. And I like the straight leg calf raises. I like the Smith machine calf raises. So we're going to keep doing those. And I did see some growth from the calf raises I was doing before. So, it's like I really want to get enough frequency for my calves. All right, and then we're going to go into shoulders. All right, we're going to do dumbbell shoulder press. Work on the lateral head. We're going to do dumbbell lateral raises to work on posterior delt. And we're going to do dumbbell front raises to work on the anterior delt. There's no finishers on our low carb days. We're just going in, we're getting our exercises for the body parts we're getting out. I don't know if you've noticed that, but that's kind of how this is designed. And then Wednesday, another low carb day, we're going to do chest back. All right. We're going to do machine incline bench press. We're doing machines because we can get a really good stretch, have really good control, really good range of motion. Then we're going to do a machine flat bench. And we're going to do a machine fly or pec deck. The incline works your upper chest. The bench, flat bench, is going to work our medial chest. And then the fly machine is going to work a little bit of everything. So the one thing that we're negating is the lower portion of our chest, right? And we're not really doing much to hit that on this day. And I don't think that is going to make or break anything, but let's just keep a pulse on it and see how that feels as we move right forward and see if we need to change that up a little bit. Then we're working on our back, right? And we're doing our hammer strength row. We're going to do a machine row. And we're going to do seated cable wide grip cable row. I like that machine row because you have to kind of pull at the top of it and back. And then the hammer strength row, you're pulling down from the floor and back. So you're hitting two different angles in the back. Right, you're hitting the lower back and the upper back there. And then the seated cable row, you're hitting the middle portion of the back. So we're hitting all three areas of the back with these. And we also are doing rows here because on Saturdays, or I'm sorry, not Saturdays, but Sundays, we are doing pull downs, still doing the wide grip seated row, and then we're doing a bent over row, right? So we're still working the lats, the rhomboids, the traps, and then we're putting a little more emphasis on the lats, the bent over rows. I'm really just trying to get my lats to grow a little bit more. They seem to have not been growing much, so I'm looking to get those to grow a little bit more this round, if we can. I mean, we're not bulking yet. We're not eating in a surplus. We're still dieting down. We're seeing a little bit of growth here and there, but not a ton. So the next thing I want to do real quick is let me go ahead and pop up these numbers. Well, I'm not going to pop them up on the screen. I'm not that technically advanced, and honestly, I am doing this to just kind of for myself, but I'm throwing these days in to just kind of, anybody that's following along wants to help themselves out can, if they think they could utilize some of the stuff. So we had setback, right? We gained 3.3 pounds over the last 3 months, which could be the reason why we increased some of our size in the last 3 months. The size that we did decrease in was in our neck. We went down a 1/4 inch in our neck. The chest area went down by a 1/4 inch. My belly went down by a full inch. And my waist, just below the belly, went down by 1.25 inches. And then I saw a 1/2 inch reduction in my butt. So where did we grow? Our bicep, we grew a 1/4 inch. Our forearm, we grew a 1/4 inch. Our thighs grew 1.5 inches. Our calves grew a 1/4 inch. And as far as our body fat percentage goes, we did go down in body fat percentage, but by a very minuscule amount. So we went down 0.03% body fat. So what do? We look at these numbers and we say, how can I make this next round better? This next cycle, this next program, how can we make sure this goes better? And the first thing I see here is, okay, I'm going to drop my calories. because I raised my calories 3 months ago, and I did not see the reduction in um, fat that I would have liked to have seen. So it is what it is. Um, the cycle before this one, we lost 54.5 pounds in those 3 months. We lost an inch around the neck, 2 inches around the chest, 5 inches in our belly, 4 inches in our waist, 5 inches in our butt, a half inch in our bicep, 1.25 inches in our forearm, and 2.25 inches in our thigh. In our calf, we lost 3/4 of an inch. So, it is what it is. Um, and then I was also got down to 16.8% body fat that round. And I don't believe I took, I don't believe I didn't. Okay, so for my second cycle, I did not take body fat measurements, or my first cycle, I didn't take body fat measurements for either of those. And then I didn't track how much I lost or gained from one cycle to the next until that third cycle when I started doing that. So I don't have all the numbers for the first two cycles, but because I didn't start taking measurements until cycle 2. Now, what I can tell you is when I started out, I was 32.1% body fat. My blood pressure was running like 125 over 85 or something like that. It was ridiculous. My blood pressure's been fine since I finished cycle 2. My blood pressure's been absolutely fine. So it took me, I don't know, 3 months to start seeing it get under control. And then by the end of 6 months, it was totally under control and fixed. I had no issues there. So when I started this, I started at 270 pounds when I started. You'll hear me say all the time, well, I got up to 303. I did. And during COVID, I weighed myself and I was 303 pounds after being quarantined for, however long. And I knew I needed to do something. I went on the Facebook Marketplace and I found somebody selling one of those total gyms, Chuck Norris jobs. Went over to the person's house, purchased the total gym, and then I started utilizing that, and I got down to and dieting, and I got down to 250 pounds utilizing that and dieting. Then I just kind of stopped. I don't know why. I just kind of stopped. It's always been very hard for me to get into exercise just for the point of exercising. I guess just being healthy has never been motivating enough, which is weird, right? But anyway, I gained 20 pounds back. And I just stayed at that 270, 280 area until I started doing this. And, you know, you have a heart scare like I had, and you're getting, you go and you fail a stress test like I did. They, do a cardiac catheterization on you like they did on me. Even though everything came back great, they said my heart looks great. I have no clogged arteries. Everything looks wonderful. They did the, what is that with the, where they look in your veins, basically, with, I think it's like an ultrasound, right? And they look in your veins with that. They did that. They said all my veins look great. Everything looks like I'm like a TikTok 100%. But that just scared me to the point I was like, God, I got to do something. And then, always being very athletic, always being into sports, so on and so forth. I said, okay, well, I'm going to start working out. But how do I make this sustainable? How do I not do what I did last time, jump on the total gym, do it for a little while, and then stop, and then go right back to where I was? And I said, I need a goal. I need a goal that I'm working towards. And so I thought, like, well, what is a goal that would push me to work out, but on a regular basis? And I was like, well, bodybuilding. That's got to be my goal. Just building my body and getting my aesthetics just as immaculate as I can get it. And so I said, okay, that's going to be my goal. Bodybuilding is going to be my goal. We're going to work towards that because it gives me something to work towards that really doesn't have an end. Like, where's the end to it? Are you ever big enough? Are you ever happy with what you've done? You're always looking to improve yourself and get a little bit better. And so for me, it seemed like the perfect thing to get into. And I'd always been into bodybuilding, always watched, the bodybuilders and stuff, and read the magazines when I was a kid. And, high school, big into weightlifting. After high school, gym memberships, on and off, right? Lifting here and there. As an amateur boxer, I was weightlifting, So all of the, as a coach, always in the weight room, always helping the kids lift, so on and so forth. So I was always very active and very much into weightlifting. It wasn't until I got the desk job before COVID that I just stopped working out. And honestly, it only took me 3 years to go from like 240, 250-ish, bouncing back and forth, 230 to 250 here and there, right? It only took me 3 years to go from that to 303 pounds. And it can just catch up with you quickly, especially if you're a big eater like I am and you seem to hold on to fat pretty well. But let's look at the before and after pics. That way you can kind of see where I started and where I went, and where I came to. And I might do some voiceover on the before and after pics. And then that's it for the video today. Hope you got something out of it. Look, follow, all that kind of good stuff. Subscribe. Let's build the community. Let's make something happen here. Okay, so here we are starting this out, and I am very big. Look at that belly. I am just huge. So, I'm depressed. I'm not feeling good. Really looking for a change here, and know I got to do something. This is after my first cycle. This is progress pics for my second cycle. I'm still pretty big. I'm still not seeing a huge difference. I wasn't extremely disappointed. After 3 months, I thought I did well. And then this is what 6 months got me. I'm really starting to shape up at this point. You can tell that I'm looking better, and I'm 9 months in at this point. So, you know, starting to see some veins, and now I am 12 months in, and you can see the huge difference that a year makes. So, in 1 year, I was able to make a humongous transition.